Hey everybody, welcome back to Building Your Empire with SophieZo. I'm so excited for another beautiful guest that I have with me today. She is a friend of mine and colleague from our FemCity Global networking group, and I am so pleased to introduce Sarah Sparks. She is the highly sought after spiritual business mentor for Create the Spark. She is a farm-raised, college-educated, former local government employee turned business owner who is no longer ashamed of her spiritual woo-woo-ness. Sarah guides fun, fabulous, fashionable females to lead with their soul, all while listening to the divine guidance. Sarah believes you have limitless power to live the life your soul came here to live, and she can help you tap into it. So let's do this. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you so much for having me, Sophie.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to have you. I love your woo woo, and I can't wait to dive into your answer to my main question I ask all my guests. What
Okay.
is your best advice for business owners who want to scale their business to the next level and beyond?
Decide to be all in. Spirit had told me, oh, probably 3, 4 years ago, you need to be all in. And it wasn't until I decided to be all in did I start growing. I also, I had to define what being all in meant to me. And for being all in meant to me was making that dedication to living out my soul and being dedicated to my soul, to understanding it, to dressing how it wants to, how speaking how it wants to, truly leading with my soul instead of leading from a space of how someone else thinks that I should be doing business, parenting, how other books tell me how to parent, um, having a marriage that other people think that I should be in a marriage of. It is all about what is it that my soul wants to experience? What does my soul want to share? Once I started doing that and chose to be all in, I had 6 years of hardly no growth to over a course of 1 year tripling my business. And I feel that it was all because of choosing and deciding to be all in and what that meant for me.
I love that. And so people, I'm sure, think they have chosen, think they have decided, and yet they're not seeing the results. How
Mm.
do you know seeing the results is the key indicator, but how do they know to, to how to truly decide, to truly choose, to follow their soul, follow their heart, follow what comes to them rather than trying to do what other people tell them to do and that kind of thing? How do you know you've really decided and chosen to do that?
Oh my God, that is a really good question. I don't know if I have. All I know is what I was doing before of what other people were telling me to do and me doing it, such as give these presentations, say this. This is the outline for your presentation. You need to touch on pain points. You really need to drive into what people are, what's the problem, and go really deep into that. But yet my soul was like, enlighten them, give them hope, support them, love on them, celebrate them in a completely different way than what was being taught to me. And once I dove into what was best for me and I allowed myself to go there, then I was speaking from a heart. I was aligning with my message. I was aligning with my offers. I was aligning with the clients whose spirit had already prepared for me. There's a level of trust that happens versus before I was doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing, not what I'd been called to do.
I love that. So maybe a better, different question is, how did you feel
Mm-hmm.
before you made that decision and choice? And then how did you feel after you made that decision and choice? Is it comfort? Is it no more fear? Is it how did you change in your feelings and emotions?
Oh, so before I was completely comfortable and hardly any fear. Before I decided to be all in. I was doing things and talking to the people that no fear. Like it was like not really uncomfortable. I was doing the things that I felt comfortable doing because I'd been doing it my whole life. Like I used to be a local government employee, so I would give presentations to local government employees and all about creating your spark. But what was really on my heart was showing them how they could lead with their soul, how to tap into that divine guidance, how to connect with spirit. But I was way too afraid to do that. And if being all in meant that I had to allow the innermost me to be on the outside and for people to really see me, that takes a whole lot of being out of my comfort zone and into fear. And I had to face it. I had to face my fears continually every single day. I had to talk about the topics that were really on my heart, not just what was like expected from every other self-help guru, empowerment coach there is, to touch upon the thinking methods of things. But no, like let's dive into and allow your soul to come to the surface. What is she like? How does she want to dress? What does she want to talk about? What does she want to share? Do you really want to get to know her? Or do you just want to be another Tony Robbins or Mel Robbins? What is it? Not that they're married, but you get the gist.
No, yeah, no, definitely. It's do you want to emulate the other gurus out there and try to do what they do and see if it works? Or do you want to do what's authentically you, what speaks to you, what is that inner voice? Because this all speaks to authenticity, and I know that's a buzzword on in the world right now, but it's really true. If you're
Mhm.
not authentically you, it's not going to work. Even if it feels like it's right. Like you said, you were like, oh, I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing, and it felt good and it felt comfortable because I was in the zone, but I wasn't doing what is me. It wasn't coming from my soul. It was it was regurgitating basically what you'd been told to say, do, dress, etc. And it's breaking the mold and becoming who you truly are, or coming out of the cocoon and being that full beautiful butterfly. So
Yes.
awesome. I love that. So when it comes to stepping into yourself and becoming who you really are, what is one little nugget you can give my people that they could potentially do right now as they're listening to this, to reach down inside and go, am I really being my true self, or am I being somebody else?
Well, so I would say there's two things that I would say. Um, First, allow other people to show up however they want to be showing up. Don't get so wrapped up into, God, I wish that they were saying this. I wish that my husband or partner or significant other or whatever is closest to you, I wish that she would be doing X, Y, and Z. Allow them to show up however they want to show up. Allow them to be whoever they're choosing to be and truly focus on you. And then, okay, what is it that I really want? I like saying like fun, fashionable females, whatever the things that I say in my bio. I like going back to fashion because like when you're standing in your closet and you're going through everything. I did this when I moved from Florida to Iowa. I now live in South Carolina. I'm originally from Iowa, and my husband and I wanted to be a family around family in Iowa. And then we both decided that winters were just not for us anymore. So we kind of did the rubber band effect of like Florida to Iowa, and then we come back to the middle here in South Carolina. So when we moved from Florida to Iowa, I had the opportunity to release a lot of items from my house. And I just went through the entire house and I just asked, does this bring me joy? And at first I was like, does I don't know, like the spark, the method, the does the spark joy? Marie Kondo. Um, And I didn't know about her or this method. I just was on this kick with finding my own joy. And I didn't think about does this spark joy because I mean, that's my last name is Sparks. So I wasn't like, I wasn't even like thinking about that. I just went through every item and I was like, wow, a lot of my clothes don't bring me joy anymore. A lot of my silverware, a lot of my plates, a lot, I mean, like everything. And so getting to know me, it just, what is it that I really want to be wearing? Like the true me. And at first I thought I would just find everything to be full of joy. And then I thought, items, material things really don't have emotions. Like, this is kind of silly. And then I realized, no, like, there are a lot of things in my closet. As soon as I finally grabbed onto something and was holding something, and I was like, wow, this really does bring me joy. And I then was able to go through it really quickly and release a whole bunch of things. So, those are like the internal and external is, you know, going through your house and just being like, what does bring me joy? Kind of just feeling it out. I like incorporating divine guidance, my soul, my inner wisdom, intuition into everything, whether it be what books am I to read? What books am I to keep? What are they to pitch? Or even for your spiritual peeps who like going into metaphysical shops. When I first started, and I wanted to really tap into my intuition. This isn't really like getting to know you, but getting to know your intuition and how you receive. I just went into a metaphysical shop and I knew nothing about stones, and I still don't at all, crystals. And so I just went in and I was like, all right, I'm gonna be led by you, spirit. I have no idea about any of this. So just give me a full body yes, like a goosebumps, or it just my whole being just feels light and right. And so I just went and I grabbed a stone and I was like, nope, nope, nope. And then I went through and I grabbed one that was like, yes. And so that's kind of what I felt like when I was going through my closet. So those, if it feels light, light and right, and like a whole big woo, yes, then you'll know, like, yeah, okay, I'm starting to get to know me and what I like and what I don't like.
I love that. And you know, it reminds me of my rebrand last year where um, I stepped into fully being me. And when I went through my closet, oh my goodness, the stuff I got rid of, because it was like, you know, this is the calm, professional, non-woo-woo me stuff.
Hmm.
And when I started going, I need to go get me some woo woo stuff, my witchy clothes, as I call it. And so I cleaned out my closet and I bought several things. I didn't like, you know, do a whole new wardrobe, but I bought a bunch of different things, including my favorite thing of all time. And I call them my witchy boots because I love witchy boots, as I call them. I mean, most people call them like granny boots or but I found the ultimate witchy boots on Amazon, and they were not in stock in my size. And I'm like, I put them in my little wish list, and I'm like, maybe they'll come back in stock, maybe.
Yeah.
And I can't. It was at least 3 months later. Boom, they came back in stock, and I went, bang, they're mine. I bought them. They arrived. I showed them off to my coach in my coaching program, and I wore them in my next photo shoot for my website, and I show them off on my website because that is me being me. So whatever you is, whether it's woo woo or not,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But you'll know by the feeling inside because you'll look at that and go, oh, that's so frumpy, or that's so this, or so blah. But if you
Mm,
surround yourself, and not just your clothes, your office, your home, like you said,
yes.
everything needs to speak to you and who you are and bring you joy and make a positive, fun environment to live in, work in, whatever the case may be.
Especially when you are in the process of becoming that person, having the visual representation of what it is that you want to step into, whether it be clothing, design. I feel like I'm like clothing and design gal today, but I'm really not at all. Like I really don't know. I just listen to my divine guidance and I teach you how to do it too. But like that's what I did when I was becoming all in. And all in for me, like I said, was truly allowing my soul to be seen and allowing myself to be spiritual. I remember being judgmental, and I would have these judgmental thoughts about myself. It was like I would see some bracelets, let's say. I saw them at Kohl's, and they had unicorns on them. They were pink. They were in the women's section. It wasn't like I was in like the little girl section or something. So they looked nice. They looked classy. But in my head, I heard myself say, those are just way too woo-woo, Sarah. Don't you dare get them. And I stopped for a second and I was like, wow, even over like $5 bracelets, we're going to like have this conversation. And so right then I was like, nope. And I bought them and I wore them. And I was like, I am done with this judgment of myself. I'm judged. I am done. So if you find yourself, I also did that with a tapestry that I had behind me for quite some time. It was black and gold and had an elephant on it. It just looked woo. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, that is just way too woo woo. I am a professional business owner. I cannot add that woo into my world. And it was when Spirit kept saying, you need to be all in. They need to see you for who you really are. So I remember taking photos and posting on Instagram and Facebook, like visuals of the table that I had behind me of different crystals or of my salt lamp. And just, it was me being comfortable with that and then showing that off. And I think we all have different stages to that. Whether it be, it doesn't have to be woo either. Like I know a gal who really started blossoming and her business started growing when she stepped into dance. And here she was a professional dancer when she was in her 20s, but she thought, well, now a mom. I'm now a business owner. I can't bring that out. No, that's actually that's the creative part of you that's coming out. My husband is, very IT minded and is all that sort of work and world that I don't understand. He knows very clear, but he is a car guy and he is a craft beer guy and he loves disc golf. So he like all these hobbies that he has that also bring out his true self. He likes incorporating those analogies into when he is showing different people different effective, efficient ways to running their business. And so bringing out all those aspects of yourself is actually beneficial to growing your business exponentially.
I love it. That is awesome. Well, Sarah, it's about time to wrap it up.
Oh,
So
cool.
let my people know where they can find you. If you have anything to offer them to get to know you better, a freebie, a paid course, whatever it is,
Yeah.
shout it out right now. And then we'll also put it in the show notes below.
Well, wonderful. Yeah. Hop on over to my website, sarahsparks.love, SARAH, Sparks, SPARKS, .love, not .com, not .org, .love. So sarahsparks.love. And on there is a free guide that you can sign up for. It'll be entered into my email, but you can opt out whenever. It is 5 steps to release the weight of the world that has been placed on your shoulders. If that's kind of how you're feeling, a lot of people that I work with feel like the weight of the world is on their shoulders and they're the ones that have to be making all the decisions in their life, at work, and everywhere. And so there's 5 steps that Spirit gave me, so I give them to you, and it's basically how my business grew and how my whole life changed. But they're just 5 steps, so that's the freebie. But you can also find all the links for Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn also on the website. So just go to sarahsparks.love.
Sounds good. Well, Sarah, it has been a great pleasure having you. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I really loved having you. And to all my peeps out there listening, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And I will see you all again next week.